Hey guys, welcome to Oxford Alley. Thanks for joining me. Today we're going to talk about powder coating, more specifically about this Eastwood dual voltage powder coating system. And if you make it to the end of the video, I've got a few cool ideas on how to modify this gun to make it operate more like a professional. But if you're just getting started in powder coating in your garage, let's just cover the basics. You're going to need an oven and you're going to need an air supply. Now, if you just have one of those pancake air compressors, no problem, guys. But what is important is that you have dry air. And the best way to dry your air is these disposable air dryers. This can screw in directly at the gun or down at your air compressor. Make sure to have a few of these things laying around the shop because you don't want moisture getting into your powder. If your powder becomes moist, it will clump. It will not come out of the gun the way you want it to, and you will not get the coverage on your part the way you want it. So make sure you've got dry air. Along with dry air, you have to have a consistent flow of air. The way to do that is with a regulator. I'm going to be using this Devil Bliss air pressure regulator. There are some cheaper options out there, but guys, this is kind of the industry standard, and really, it's worth a couple extra bucks. It's about 45 bucks. I will drop a link in the description for that as well, and I'll see if I can find some more economical solutions for you guys. You're going to also need an infrared thermometer. The reason for this, you have to regulate and maintain a proper temperature to get the right cure of the powder. Every powder has a different curing temperature and duration. The best way to monitor the temperature of your part is with an infrared thermometer. So get yourself one of those. We're going to be in and out of the oven quite a bit, guys, so have a nice pair of gloves laying around to protect your hands. When you pull in and out the rack, you're going to want gloves on to keep your hands safe. Let's continue to talk about protecting yourself. Get a good respirator, guys, for when you're spraying your powder. Do not breathe that stuff in. Get a respirator. I'll drop a link. Okay, so now you've got your part. You got to clean it. I'm going to be using the Eastwood pre-cleaning solution. You can get this kind of thing pretty much at any paint supply house. It really is just a solvent to clean your part before you paint it. And if you're handling your clean part, use some rubber gloves, guys, because there's oil on your fingers that you do not want to transfer onto your part. If there are areas of your part that you don't want to get powder on, they do make high temperature masking tape for, so consider that. If there is a spot where there's a threaded hole, they make high temperature plugs, so consider that as well. Then the last thing you'll see me using today is some stainless steel wire. I will use this to suspend my part from the oven rack for when I move it in and out of the oven. So let's take a closer look at this gun and talk about how powder coating really works. Hey guys, I wanted to take a quick second to explain to you exactly how this gun and most systems work. So what happens is air comes up right here, travels up through the gun and down this long tube. Inside of here is your powder. This is your reservoir powder. So the air pushes down into your powder, exciting it and stirring it up, where the powder will eventually make its way up into this smaller tube, and through the air pressure is forced out the barrel of the gun. Now, inside of this gun, can you see that little tip right there? That's the charging element. So as the powder is pushed through the barrel of the gun, the particles and the molecules of the powder is being positively charged and then through air pressure pushed out the front of the gun. Now this other little piece I just kind of took off there, that's just a diffuser. That kind of just helps traffic the flow of powder as it comes out the front of the gun. So now your positively charged particles are coming out of your gun and they are landing on your part, which is negatively charged by this alligator clip. So you're coupling the charge. This is the negative side of this positive charge. So naturally the powder is attracted to your part. Once the part is fully covered, we bring it up to temperature. The molecules of the powder begin to melt and bond to itself and the part. And as it cures and cools, we're left with like a candy coated covering, which is our powder coating. So that's exactly how this and pretty much all powder coating systems work. So enough of that, let's get to the fun stuff. Okay guys, here are a couple of the parts that we're going to powder coat next. These are gussets for the radiator core support for the Project 76 Corvette. And guys, if you haven't hit subscribe yet, now's a great time to do it so you don't miss out on any of this stuff. So we're going to clean up some of these parts, get them ready for powder coat. Okay, guys, I wanted to give you a quick before and after before I finish this particular part up. But we're getting close. Okay, if you guys have done any research, and you've probably heard the term off-gassing. What off-gassing is basically pre-baking your part until it gets all of its impurities baked out of it. Now the typical rule of thumb is to go 50 degrees Fahrenheit hotter than what the cure temperature is for the powder you'll be using. And you'll do that for about 10 minutes, just for some peace of mind that you really are getting all the impurities out of your part. So we're gonna let that guy sit for a few more minutes, and then we'll pull it out and we'll start prepping it for it. Okay guys, now that we have off-gassed or pre-baked our part, it's ready for the final step before we add powder coat. And that's just using a pre-paint solvent such as this pre-wipe from Eastwood. Really, you can get this kind of thing at any painting supply house. So make sure and spray it liberally. Use a lint-free cloth to definitely wipe that part up, get all the final little oils or any final little debris off that part before we get ready to shoot it with some powder coat. Now guys, if you're enjoying any of this or getting any value out of it, please hit the like button. And if you have any comments, feel free to drop those down there as well. Hit subscribe because we have got a lot coming up, moving on to that Project Corvette as well. So this part is ready for powder coat.
Kind of notice the powder kind of just goes everywhere.
So guys, I really wanted to point out how much powder got wasted. It just seemed like it just went everywhere. So the next part we do, I'm going to try a few modifications to the gun to make it a little more controllable and see if we can make this thing shoot more like a professional gun. Okay guys, once you get the powder on your part, you pop it in the oven and it begins to start melting. And we want to get our part up to 380 degrees. So we're almost there. We'll get it up to 380 degrees for about 15 minutes and then we'll pull it out. Okay guys, here it is, the final part. It came out really good. I cannot complain. This is the first piece I've ever powder coated before, and wow, really awesome. So cool. I hope that this helped you guys out. And now, since you stuck around, let me tell you what the modification to that gun is. It is a piece of PVC. This is a 1-inch coupler. What I did is I took my rotary tool, my Dremel tool, and I sanded it out. So you notice how thin the wall is. But I only went halfway. So when I put the gun on, it's only going to go so far. Then the second trick is to get this 1.25 PVC coupler and just slide it right on there. And that's about it, guys. Let me show you how it shoots over here. But hey, if you like that tip, go ahead and hit the like button. Let me know what you're thinking down in the comment section. And guys, hit subscribe because the Corvette is coming up real soon. All right, guys, let me show you how that thing shoots. Okay, guys, for demonstration purposes, I just wanted to show you the modification I made with the nose of the gun. Just 2 simple pieces of PVC pipe, 1 inch and 1.25 inches, and I just sort of made a nozzle out of it. I did have to file the inside out to get it to fit real nice, but I just want to show you how well this shoots now. So you have a little bit of control of where that powder is going to go. Okay, so if I pull this guy off, it just sort of goes everywhere. But having a little bit of control of where you're going to put that powder is going to make all the difference in the world, guys. So thanks for sticking around, but that is it. That's the big modification that you need. Make this thing shoot like a real gun.